Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode number 119 of the Debt Free Dad podcast. So today we are going to be reading and reacting to a credit card offer that came in the mail to Ryan's son, Josh, as he was preparing to start college. Now, guys, they don't market to kids and parents about getting pre-college or college students credit cards, do they? You want to make a bet? We're going to talk all about it on today's show. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Debt Free Dad podcast, where we're helping normal, everyday people learn how to save money and kick debt so they can live a happier and stress-free life. Now here's your host, Debt Free Dad, Brad Nelson.
Hey, how is everyone doing today? You can find me on Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube, and Instagram. Just search Brad Nelson, Debt Free Dad. And always, as always, I should say, welcome to today's show. Remember to get all the resources, show notes, and links for today's show, head over to balancencents.com/119. That's BALANCEDCENTS.com/119. So, guys, today we are back with another reaction episode, and I really wanted to, kind of get away a little bit from the videos and mostly look at more like advertisements and offers that you would get in your email or in your mailbox. And lo and behold, Ryan sent me this years ago. When I looked at the date, I want to say it was like 2017, 2018 is when you sent this to me. And I don't even know like how I happened to come across it. It must have just been the universe saying like, hey, the Debt Free Dad podcast needs something fun to react to on their show. And this magical piece showed up, guys. We have got an awesome one for you today. I loved this one. I loved reading it when Ryan sent it to me several years ago. And we're going to be talking about it here on today's show. Now, this actual piece is from a bank called First Financial Bank. All right. And I'm going to share my screen here, and we're going to go ahead and show you guys what this paper looks like. We're going to read through some of these things and react to this credit card offer and give our take on this, knowing what we talk about on this show.
And I'll say my daughter received this almost identical offer from the same company, like shortly after she turned 18, like within a month, I would guess. And that was the same time frame my son got his, like really? Within a month of turning 18. It was pretty fast. I remember getting it and being like, oh, it's this one. Cause I just remember what it looked like. I remember when it opened, it had all the same stickers, everything. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this one.
Yeah. Everything was the same.
Yep.
Oh, I can't wait because you guys are going to just wait until you see the stickers. Oh my gosh. All right, well, here we go. We are going to share it. So hopefully you guys should be able to see that now. So we're going to start out with this friendly letter, right? And I just want to read this real quick. And on the bottom, it says, a message to parents about students going to college. Now I'm going to do my best to read this. It's a little bit of a blurry picture. This was taken with an older iPhone. So, but I want to go ahead and read this. It says, going to college is a big step in the life of a college student and in the lives of the parents as well. As you know, life on the college campus is full of new experiences, new challenges, and new emergencies. So it's only natural for parents to want to help as much as possible. And if students age 18 or older want to have a credit card in their own name, federal law requires that consumers below age 21 must have an independent ability to make at least the required minimum payments that are due when they use their credit card. Now, First Financial Bank USA has for many years issued student credit cards to carefully selected students who are age 18 or older without requiring parents to assume any legal responsibility for the student credit cards that we issue. Oh my gosh. And students are able to limit their credit lines to as little as $100. And if you are wondering whether parents should assume legal responsibility for student credit cards, you may also want to consider what this author of a Wall Street Journal article wrote as follows. If my daughter pays for her bills late in college, she will learn quickly about late fees and the impact on her credit score. But if I'm not on the account, I'll have to choose between her life lesson and my own credit score. So this is a kind of mean and rotten parent I've become. Recently, I vigorously persuaded my 19-year-old daughter to get her first credit card. The reason? I believe youngsters need room to make their own mistakes and learn from them when the consequences and dollar amounts are low. Now, it goes on and says, that's why First Financial Bank USA issues credit cards. No students with some initial credit lines as low as 150. Now, notice it went from 100 now to as low as 150, right? And students can then reduce their credit lines even further to as little as 100 now if they wish. Students can also have billing statements mailed to their house address each month. And if they want to discuss their monthly expenditures and payments with their parents and to decide when or if to request a credit line increase based on their income and obligations and how wisely they use their credit card to demonstrate their ability to handle more credit while having their credit cards in their own names allows them to establish a credit history at an early age and to get the credit references that they are sure to need when they need to rent their first apartment or apply for their first auto loan or first business loan without needing to have their parents co-sign contracts and assume any legal liability. Parents should also know, while it may be harder for students to find part-time jobs during these difficult times, and I'm not going to read this part because this kind of goes back to 2015 that they were talking about people having hard times getting jobs back then, but I don't even recall that back in 2015. But at the end it says, in short, we know that some parents prefer to have students charge everything to the parents' credit card so that students never have to think about money. And clearly, this program is not designed for them, but for most students and parents who understand how important it is for students to get credit cards in their own names, we look forward to servicing your students' credit cards from First Financial Bank USA for many years to come. I think I did a pretty good job with that one. I should maybe be a
Sign me up.
maybe be a spokesperson for this place. Oh man. So what? Okay. I just want to react to the letter. All right. The rest of the 4 pages are a lot more simplistic. So hopefully you hung out with us and read through that. But the reason I wanted to read that is because this plays into the common marketing that's out there. And they're already sending these marketing messages to your kids. Having a credit card is a normal thing. You need to have a credit card in order to also get other loans like car loans and renting apartments and so on, when I have pretty much lived a life that's proven all of that to be false. Yes, can it be a little bit more difficult in some cases without a credit score? Yes, but you can still do it and get it done. But I think guys, for me, like this really is just setting kids up for the normal paycheck to paycheck, gotta depend on credit. They even mentioned emergencies, and we're going to get into some of the examples, some of the ways that these kids are using this credit card as testimonials, which are amazing, by the way. But what are your thoughts when you guys hear this letter?
That was me.
Isn't it funny though?
Sign me up.
I mean, I walked into college and they were like, let's sign you up for a credit card. They have booths there, and I signed up for emergencies.
Yeah. Did you get the free? You got the free T-shirt, right? Or free pizza?
I got free
or
something.
hat,
I don't remember.
Canned koozie, right?
I sure as heck paid for it though.
Yeah, I like the credit limit part too. Like, you could select a low credit limit until we see that you're making your payments on time, and then we're gonna say, "Great job, you're a great customer," and because of that, we've raised your credit limit to $500 a month, right? And then pretty soon those balances just keep creeping up, right? There's just so much of this that I used to fall for, and I see just this common marketing again towards young kids getting out of high school, going into college, and literally signing up for that paycheck to paycheck life with this common message of you need credit cards for emergencies and to build credit and to have be successful. Man.
Well, it's all the marketing, right? I mean, you read through this letter and it's listen to some of the words they used. So new experiences, new challenges, and new emergencies. They're already setting you up that you're going to have an emergency in college. I have no idea what emergency would happen in college. I mean, maybe there are some true emergencies, but I don't know any like really bad emergency that $100 credit limit's going to help you with.
Right.
So like for me, like an emergency with $100 credit limit is like, I want pizza tonight. That seems like an emergency in college.
That's exactly
like,
what it is.
You know what I mean? That's like, to me, like an emergency with such a low credit limit is just $100 or $150 isn't going to cover you for any sort of major emergency that were to happen.
Right.
The other thing that they say in here that just kind of lures that, well, when they go into this author, you know, the Wall Street Journal is what this author of a Wall Street Journal article. Well, who's the author?
Yeah.
I'd like to know who this author is, and I'd like to know the context of what this was.
Yeah.
Because maybe the author wrote an article, and this was just in the article as reference to something, and so they're using it because someone wrote it. It seems a little weird that you would quote someone without giving them credit for actually have writing it.
Right.
So it just seems kind of sleazy to me. Like you're saying an author from just to push credit, like Wall Street Journal. That sounds official and financial. They sound like they know what they're doing. So we'll throw that in there because that'll get people to sign up for it.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. Totally agree. All right. Let's move on to the next page, which is some of the testimonials, which are amazing. So another part of the credit card offer, you'll see this on your screen. If you're, again, watching this on YouTube, you can see these examples right on our YouTube channel. Just search Brad Nelson Debt Free Dad and you'll see the video there. But here's another one. It says, here's what new card holders wrote when we asked them online how using their new credit card helped. Now, I can't read all of this because when Ryan took the picture, some of it got cut off. So I'm going to do the best, at least with the ones on the right-hand side of the screen. But the top one, I want to learn to manage credit debt. And how interest will accrue if I don't pay my bill in full each month.
I learned that the hard way.
What? Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna my opinion, I mean, maybe it's true, but I'm just calling just BS. Like, I don't know anybody that would say, I want to learn about debt and I want to learn, like, I'm not going to pay my bill. And I just want to see like what happens. When that happens. Like, it's just crazy to me that someone would say that. Like,
oh my God, I'm dying. If I don't pay my bill in full each month. Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Helped me purchase tires on my car before a snowstorm. Yeah, that's.
I mean,
it's not a bad reason.
It depends where they went to school. Maybe they went to school somewhere north and they weren't expecting the snow.
Right, but I mean that again goes like, okay, if you are depending on your credit card to purchase tires before a snowstorm, by the way, who's like, oh, geez, there's a snowstorm coming. I better go down and get myself some new tires.
It's crazy. I mean, I 100%, I've charged tires when we were in debt.
I did too.
I totally get this, like, the sentiment. But I think what we teach and what we've talked about here is, like, you didn't wake up and go out to your car and, like, just suddenly as an emergency, someone switched 4 bald tires on your car and you had to, like, get them replaced.
Right.
Like, these are expenses that should be, so they're selling you the idea that tires are something that are an emergency and that you should, like, just charge. The reality is when you buy a new car, the tires are going to go out in 50 to 75,000 miles.
You got it.
Guaranteed 100%. It's going to be an expense that's going to happen. So it's not an emergency. It's a known thing that you're going to have to replace. I mean, I treated it as emergency. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we got to do these tires. Yeah, you can see the white wall through them, buddy. I mean, at some point they have to be replaced. But so I think it's just a mindset, like the way we're marketed to on all this kind of stuff is, and my son was told this in his financial class, you should use a credit card for things like tires on your car. It's like,
right.
Why do they use that as an example for,
because I think, for most people, especially when it comes to car repairs, I mean, car repairs are expensive. So I think for most people, it's just not something that they budget for properly. They don't have or use a sinking fund of any sort. And it's always that crisis. Like, I mean, how many memes have you seen on Facebook where it's like, what do you do? What do you do when you hear your car making clunky noises? You just turn the radio up louder. Right. And again, it all goes back to this because one, car repairs are expensive, but number two is most people don't properly budget, have an emergency fund, and save up for those known expenses that are coming up. And again, I think, Ryan, you brought up a good point, is that, I think these types of messages and sharing these with young kids and adults is almost grooming them into this idea that, well, why, of course I would have a credit card. How else would I be able to afford and pay for some of these things? That's what the credit card's for. And it's not. This is how you get yourself roped into debt for the rest of your life. A couple of other ones. It helped me pay for food and gas. Ryan, you talked about pizza, right? Help me pay for food and gas. What happened to cash, right?
Right.
I mean, why don't we use cash? I made a donation to a charity, and now I am building my credit. Right. I love that they donated, right? Love that they donated, but it doesn't have to be on a credit card. I use my card for gas so I can have a clear understanding of how much gas I use each month.
This one, when I remember getting this one, and I was like, I just remember laughing, and my wife and I just laughed because I'm just like, it seems like if I go into the station and I hand them $50 and I do that 4 times a month, I know how much gas, I don't need a credit. I don't need anything to explain that to me.
And I mean, it's not like they don't give you a receipt or anything.
Right.
Right.
Well, even nowadays, and of course, this is a little bit of an older advertisement, going back 5 years ago now. But, with online banking, you can, even if you pay with your debit card, it categorizes so much of your stuff now automatically. You can easily see what you've spent on gas station visits and things like that. So,
yep.
Another one, much more convenient than using and carrying cash, which I could see that, right? I'm not much of a cash carrier. I'm a debit card user. So I could definitely maybe see why people might value that. Last one, it helped me to pay my light bill and also my garbage disposal bill this month when I did not have all the funds to do so for myself. So again, this all comes down to the fact, and again, keep in mind as you listen to that, we're talking about a light bill and garbage disposal. These are just normal, everyday life expenses, right? And if you're having a hard time budgeting for your just normal household expenses, this is a budgeting problem. These are not reasons to say use credit cards. Going on to some of these other pages, let's talk about the stickers, guys. So, as a young adult, the awesome part about getting this first credit card is you get to pick one of these 34 amazing pictures to put on your First Financial Bank USA Visa credit card for students. It just says, paste the stamp of your choice on your credit card request form and mail it in today. And the one, guys, that I saw that I would want personally is the cat staring at the glass of water.
That's a goldfish.
Is it a goldfish? It is a goldfish.
Yeah,
It's a goldfish.
Here I am thinking, is it a glass of wine? Is he wanting? It's a goldfish. It makes sense now. I didn't even recognize that it was a goldfish.
I like the I love math one. I just feel like that's a little,
Yeah.
Hey, it's top secret though.
Yeah. Top secret. I love math. But yeah, these are some interesting ones. I just want to, the person who's in charge of the sticker choices probably needs to do a little bit better job. I would
agree.
I want the great state of Illinois' emblem on my credit card as a high school or as a college student. Go Illinois. All right, and then last but not least,
I mean, if you look at this, it's the same with. I mean, even offers we get a lot of times. It's how they make it personal for you, right? Yeah. It kind of goes back to the original letter, I think, where they said something to the effect of carefully selected students. Here's the news for you. Everybody's getting this.
Yeah.
By carefully selected, they mean the machine spit out all the people who turned 18, and those are all the people that are getting this credit card form.
Yep.
So you didn't get carefully selected. They don't really care what they put on your card. They're trying to make you feel special and that you have choice and that you can make this personal to you, to make this card personal to you. It's all about the marketing.
Yep, absolutely. And I think there's even credit cards and cards that have gone even further with. I think you could put your own picture. I mean, I think you can upload and put your own photograph on your cards now. And you're right. It all comes down to that marketing, making it feel good. And yeah, you're absolutely right. No question. Let's look at real quick the interest rates on this. And I think I might have to go back. Let's see. Yep, there it is. Here we go. All right, you should see that on your screen now. So there's a 0% introductory APR for 1 year. After that, though, your APR will be 31.15% based on the prime rate. That is a massive interest rate on that credit card. So again, where they get you again, and this is why, if you're talking to your kids, this is where you got to be careful, because they get you with just that low, it's just a low limit, right? Because credit card companies know that brand, who you choose as, a credit card, that goes with you for a while, right? It starts to have that connection. I mean, I literally have had Roots members literally cry when they've cut up their credit cards before because of that connection with those cards. And this is a real thing. So, again, a lot of people skip out on the interest rates because, again, they look at, it's a low limit. I'm building my credit. I'm doing what's smart. But then what happens over time is they slowly will say, hey, you're a great customer. You've been doing a great job making all your payments on time. We're going to reward you with upping that credit limit. Before you know it, 100, 150 turns into 500 and then 1,000 and then 5,000. And, slowly but surely it's like, how do I have a $20,000 credit limit on this card, right? And it happens. It doesn't happen right away, but it happens over time. And again, they get that to you buying into their brand, and we're partners in this. We're helping you with your finances, right? And this is where you got to be careful, though, because if you're staying in debt and you have revolving credit card debt, this is what a lot of people are being punished with, are these high interest rate types credit cards, especially when it comes to these college students. And we all know the student loan debacle that a lot of kids are in, or a lot of even people my age are in, and people getting out of college and not really quite understanding how much debt they have. And now you're going to add credit card debt on top of that. It's just a really scary place to put your kids, especially when they're just starting out in the real world.
On the 0% is nice and bold and like, 0% for 1 year. I didn't have everything here, but you read through the fine print of any credit card is 0%, but go ahead and be 1 day late on a payment. Yep. You'll be lucky if the interest rate's 31% if you're late. Right. I mean, it might be 50, 60, 70% if you're late. So you got to really read the fine print, because the reason it's 0%, again, marketing. It's 0%. I won't have to pay any interest at all they're counting, especially with newer people haven't maybe really had great chance of budgeting or doing their finances. I mean, they're probably counting on people missing payments and having a lot higher interest rate much earlier than that 1 year.
Of course. I mean, and that's, again, part of the reason why they probably go after young college students, because they know they're going to be able to get late fees. And I mean, there's reasons why they charge that stuff. Again, this is all a product. It's meant to help them make money. And, again, the marketing, again, it always goes back to this whole idea of you're doing something smart. This is a smart decision. It's the responsible decision. And this is how they can kind of, again, trick you into believing some of this stuff. And they're going after as young as people just starting out and don't even really have real full-time jobs yet.
Hey, if you love planners, this is for you. But do you know why planners frustrate me? Because they only really get it half right. Now, sure, they're really good and fancy about helping you manage your time, which is really important, obviously. That's what a planner's for. But where they get it wrong is money, the second most valuable resource in our lives. Most planners don't include any financial planning, things like, keeping track of paydays, bills, due dates, spending, yearly expenses, budgets, cash flow planning, debt elimination plans, and goal planning, right? None of that stuff. That's a real pain. And then what? Then you got to create your own in some silly binder, right? And who has time for all of that stuff? So instead, what happens? Nothing, right? A lot of people tend to ignore their finances even more, and things only get worse. Well, that all ends today, because I am so excited to announce and release my brand new, totally awesome Debt Freedom Planner. This thing's awesome, by the way. Now, before you say, Brad, I've already got a planner. This is not an ordinary day planner. This is the Debt Freedom Planner, which is a companion tool that works with your day planner, and it's built to help you manage your money pay off more debt, and melt away financial stress. And I believe this is the tool that a lot of people who want to take control of their finances have been waiting for. So head on over to therealdebtfreedad.com, click on the Debt Freedom Planner in the menu to get access to your planner today.
Hey, what's this I see? I thought this was a party! Let's
All right. That sound means it's time for the celebrations of the show. And today we are kicking it off with Jill Brown. Jill says, I bumped my savings back up to $1,000. Got an extra $700 on my check thanks to some overtime and paying extra on my husband's credit card. The last one left. Jill, great wins. Congratulations to you.
Heather Whitworth, I finally cut up my credit card.
Awesome. What a great, that's such a great feeling. Again, we don't ever recommend anyone to cut up their credit cards. I think that's a personal choice that you got to make. But I know personally, that's a big choice. That's a big decision. And I know when I cut up mine, it was again, breaking up with that credit card we were just talking about. It's a big step. So good for you, Heather, for making that decision for yourself. That's awesome. All right, up next is Jennifer Coburn. Jennifer says, had to buy a new dryer this week, but had the funds in my emergency fund and was able to pay cash. Now to rebuild. Hey, you college credit card people, look at that. Look at that, right? Jennifer getting it right, having an emergency fund for those unexpected expenses. Great win, Jennifer.
Shayna Carey, this may sound crazy, but I have only gone over my budget by $400 this month. This is so good for me. Usually I'm way far into overdraft and using credit cards, but this month I tried really hard and this is a big win. Next month is to try to cut back even more and stay in that budget.
Yeah, that is such a great win, Shayna. And a lot of people might say, but she was $400 over budget. How is that a win? It's a win because she's going in the right direction. For a lot of us, this is a learning curve. It's going to take time. It's not going to be something you're going to be an expert and you're going to get everything right away. And in fact, a lot of us, even years into it, still don't get it all right all the time. So just such a great win, Shayna. Congratulations. And Rosita has got our emergency fund back up and made a plan to start purchasing much-needed windows for the house in cash. I love that planning. Great win.
Amy Bosch Whitney paid off our bed. We are going to sleep well tonight.
Heck yeah, Amy. Huge congratulations to you paying off your bed. That's amazing. And congratulations to all of you guys who are working so hard at reaching financial freedom. And remember to get all the resources, show notes, and links for today's show. Head over to balancesense.com/119. Again, that's BALANCEDCENTS.com/119.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us here today. We love your feedback, and it also helps us grow our YouTube show. So please give us a like or leave us some honest feedback on this video. And if you want the latest from the show, obviously be sure to hit that notification bell and subscribe to our channel. And for the latest resources, or if you want more information on how to kick debt and financial stress, please be sure to check out the links in this video or head over to therealdebtfreedad.com. We'll see you guys on an upcoming show. Take care.